Hello and welcome guys, this is Mayank Shekhar and I'm here for a fun and in-depth chat with choreographer, song director Sagar Das. Now, we could have had this conversation over a drink in WTF, which is how we first met and we just kept drinking for hours and hours on end. Or we thought we could have a camera that's on and questions coming from me, some questions coming from you, some answers coming from you, some questions and answers both coming from me. But you get to also learn about Sagar Das in terms of his life, in terms of his art, in terms of his craft, in terms of how he thinks, what he thinks. Thank you so much, Sagar.
It's my pleasure.
Before we do cheers,
let's start with the cheers. Before I start and start blowing my own trumpet, because that is how it will sound like after the interview, I want to say I am a huge fan of yours. After doing so much of work and with my team and everybody, I was discussing this interview is going to happen with Mayank and all that. And they were so excited. They're like, yes sir, we'll also be there and we have to be there. So after doing 150 songs, my team thinks that I have arrived today. So it is all.
Well, you've arrived at the bar for sure.
Yeah.
No, but thanks a lot, man. But it's obviously not about me. It's about you. And it's an area that I know so little about. And I think even ones who are watching us know so little about. I think you'll be not just the person to take us through choreography and song direction as an art, as a form, also through your own journey. But what I find most fascinating about you, Sagar, and this is a conversation that we've had before over drinks, is that you actually call yourself far more a song director than a choreographer. Firstly, what's the difference between the two?
I didn't start calling myself a song director because mostly in our field, which I have seen, that if you start saying things about yourself, which are actually facts, it comes across that he's being arrogant.
समझता क्या अपने आप?
हाँ, ये क्या समझते अपने आप? Song director क्या होता है अभी? So what happened is, first of all, I myself didn't knew that I can call myself a song director and all that. But I'll just take you to a small journey. Like before, if you would see films like during Mughal Azam and all that, they used to write dance. Dance Kamal ji or Raj ji and all that. Then it became dance director. Then it became choreographer. Then by the time I became a choreographer, they used to write director of choreography. So what happened is that is how I did my first film when I did Chak India, and practically I was directing songs, but I didn't know that I can call myself a song director. I didn't know that such kind of a credit did exist. It is Abhishek Sharma, the director of Tere Bin Laden. He told me that because in Tere Bin Laden we were shooting all montage song and there were no dancing, and it was very screenplay related. So he said ki there is no choreography sort of thing. You are actually directing a song for me. So I said you should credit yourself song director. I said that's not in my hand, but if you think, is there a credit like that? He said you are doing it. Sanjay Leela Bansali was a song director, and this information.
Was he?
Yes. So I got his information from Abhishek Sharma. He said that Sanjay Leela Bansali was a song director in 1942, A Love Story. So he directed the song for Vidu sir. So he said that is what you are doing. So I said okay, fine, if you want to give me that credit. So when he gave me that credit, I realized okay, because before that also most of the song, my first film, alright, I am always
your first film being Chak India.
Chak India.
Right. What a fascinating debut to have, man. Amazing.
God's grace. God has been kind. I used to say कि I am the choreographer of Chak India. So everybody used to think कि
Chak India में नाच गाने का.
Chak India में choreography कहाँ है?
Right.
I'm like हैं? यार ये तो मैंने सोचा नहीं, because people relate choreography to dancing.
Right.
Which is not the matter, because see, action is choreographed. Scenes are choreographed. A director is also choreographing the scene, that you come from here, you go from here. That is it. So I'm like, no. I used to keep explaining people. I was 23 when I did Chak De. So I used to keep explaining, no, it is not like that. When somebody is standing and singing or crying, that is also choreography. So people used to laugh, especially the people from outside the industry. My friends and all from college, they're like, kuch hi bol raha hai, aisa. He must have just been there on the set and all that. So when I came to know that no, Sanjay Leela Bansali has done that, and he's credited me, and then people who approached me for work, so they said ki acha, we want you to direct this song, and then I realized okay, alright, so this is the thing. So then I made it a point later in my career that if I go to a film and when they give me a song which is a sad song or a montage song or a screenplay related song, so I'll say I personally tell them that make it a song directing. Previously it was an issue, now a lot of other choreographers are also doing it. So they don't have an issue.
So when you do something like this, Sagar, when it seems like it's part of the film, or sometimes even if it's not part of the film in a strict sense, but there is actually action and drama going on in terms of facial performance that's going on. It's not just just steps. It's not just steps, right?
Right.
So in that situation, do you think that people who are watching it assume that it's the director who's done it, and that what would say Sagar be doing in something? Let's say in Chak, would people think that Shimit Amin ne kiya hoga? Does that happen?
Yeah. That happened a lot.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that once again. So once I was sitting with Shimit, and so suddenly after the film was a big hit and all that, we were at a coffee shop, and I said, you know what everybody thinks? Everybody thinks that you have done the song. And Shimit with his accent, like, no, Sagar man, you don't know. You met Shimit, right? He's got this American accent. It's like, people will forget about it, this, that. I know that you have done. I'm like, no, because you've become such a big name after Chak De, that it was a huge hit. And I was 23. I was picked up from a set where I was assisting and I was given this break. So I didn't know how to promote myself. Everybody thought it was Shimit. I kept arguing, which I should have not. I kept saying, no, I did it. What? I have done this. I have put the camera. Track trolley lagana padta hai. Ye wo, all that rubbish I did, which I'm embarrassed right now saying to whomever I said in those days. But I was trying to prove a point, and yes, people used to think that Shimit has done it. And Shimit actually, he has told me, these are Shimit's words. He's told me that when you were doing the second song, the title track, Chak De,
right.
So he used to tell me, Sagar, I don't know what, because we were shooting Shah Rukh's portion in one day. So he was like, Sagar, and I kept taking the shot and stand here, we do this, Shah Rukh bhai come here, we do this. So he kept saying, because he's an editor also.
Right.
So after a while he came to me like, Sagar, I don't know what you are doing, I hope we get the song. I'm like, no, don't worry. Once I am there, he's like, okay fine, Sagar is doing it. So he knows everything.
When you're 23 and your lead actor says Shah Rukh Khan, would he listen to you, man? Like, would he, kya bol raha hai ye bacha? Did that happen to you? What was it like doing that at such a young age, man?
Shah Rukh bhai was not a problem. So when I was I have always been a huge Shah Rukh Khan fan.
Right.
And from my school days, my friends have nicknamed me Max.
Okay.
And I'm real, like, if you see those very filmy kind of a guy, I'll land up into a fist fight with somebody if somebody says anything bad about Shah Rukh.
So that's one thing I'm not going to do tonight, man. No matter what. Thank you.
I love Shah Rukh bhai to death. The best part is all my life I kept thinking I want to work with Shah Rukh. When I became a dancer, I wanted to dance behind Shah Rukh. That didn't happen. And the first song was with Shah Rukh and he had sung the song. So everything was just so this. And then when he came, he was very respectful. I don't know whether he remembered, but I was an assistant in Veer Zara.
Okay.
So to Sarojji. So I used to meet him during the shootings and all that. So he was very sweet. It was rest everybody when I entered, and my now wife, that time she was my girlfriend. So she was assisting me and we went on the set. She was
Radhika.
Radhika.
Right.
And Radhika was 19, I was 23 and we walked on the set and everybody was looking at us, ye log kaun hai? And this and that. And when I still remember when I told the trolley guy, all the head of departments were very respectful. But when I told the trolley guy ki sir, yahan pe 3 piece track lagana aur ye lagana aur 50 ka lens laga dena. And he looked at me like,
Kaun hai tu?
Kaun hai tu? And where is your boss? Like that. So that was there. But then when Shah Rukh bhai came in and somebody told him that Sagar is doing the song and he came to me and he said, yes, Sagar, tell me what I'm doing. So that is the time I felt, okay.
You are the boss.
Yes, I'm the boss and this is real. And everybody took a backseat. Everybody was like, why Shah Rukh Khan sun raha hai iski?
Right.
So, let's keep quiet. The DOP told me of the film, Sudeep Chatterjee was the DOP. I was very nervous. I was sitting outside at why everybody is behaving so strange. He said, Sagar, the biggest production house in the country has hired you. Relax, do your thing. I am there. Shimit is there. Don't get so worried. So yes, it was a thing. And it still happens today. When I first enter the set, I am very conscious about, who is doing what. One of my mentors once told me that आप जब सेट पे पहली बार आते हो तो वो डिसाइड होता है आपके पहले 2 शॉट के बाद कि वो आपको नाम से बुलाएंगे कि सागर बुलाएंगे या मास्टर जी बुलाएंगे. Right. In those days they used to call him
Master Ji. That's true, man. Some of the things that I was reading about choreography, actually, because once Saroj Khan died and I was writing a long piece, an obituary on her, and that gave me a sense of the history of choreography, and it really, in a huge way, starts from Saroj Khan. Nobody knows the person who choreographed Mehbooba, right? Pierre, right? Nobody knows the name.
Glad you know, yeah.
Yeah, I was just reading about them, right? So, B. Sohanlal, for instance, nobody knows who did Guide. These are iconic. They are in fact bigger than films. The picturization is bigger than the movies. They survive far longer than those movies have. Saroj Khan changed that, right? And how did you get in touch with Saroj Khan? And what's your story, man? Like, how did you get into this in the first place?
See, firstly, though, how I became a dancer is very weird. I was in Xavier, so I was performing in Malhar, and some guy who used to supply dancers in the film, he came. He won the competition, so he told our troupe that.
You mean Xavier's here in Bombay?
Malhar, the festival, and
right.
we won the dance competition.
Right.
He said that there is a film with Sanjay Dutt, and you guys are selected to act in it. And as we were not from the industry, so we always felt कि यार हमारा performance देख के कोई producer ने. I had heard this Aditya Pancholi story. I don't know whether you know. So Aditya Pancholi was traveling in train.
Okay.
And the director saw him, and he walked up to him. And Aditya Pancholi is a personality,
right.
you know, like tall and fair, and you know, with his eyes and all that.
Taller than Amitabh Bachchan, by the way.
Yeah. And he's like, when he walks into the room, you know that this man is something.
Right.
So he was traveling in train or bus somewhere, and the director went up to him and asked him whether you will do my film, and you know, and he was like, and he got his break like that.
Okay.
So I thought that has happened to me, and you know, they've called me and this and that, and this is my troupe, and we are all going. When we land up there are other 1,000 dancers giving audition. We were actually called for the audition. By default, I got selected. I became a dancer. I was like, okay, this is good money. Let's start doing this. But after a while, I just took it really seriously because I realized that.
So were you like an amateur kind of guy before, when through school and stuff, just doing stuff, and then Malhar just changed life for you? Is that what happened?
I was always dancing though.
Where are you from, Sagar? Like, how did you come to Bombay? Were you always from Bombay?
I'm born and brought up in
You're
Bombay.
Full on Bombay.
Full on Bombay.
Full on.
I used to stay in New Bombay.
Right.
Because Shah Rukh went to Xavier's and kuch hota hai.
Okay.
So I told my parents that I want to go to Xavier's. Like, why? Because Shah Rukh went there. Shah Rukh actually didn't go to Xavier's. My father was like, he studied in Delhi. I'm like, no, but I want to do that thing. And you know,
you're that hardcore a fan, huh, boss?
I see.
That's crazy.
There is a Om tattoo on my hand. This I did after Om Shanti Om. I've told Shah Rukh is very embarrassed when he's sitting with me because I continuously keep praising him. You know that film you did, you know this you did, and you know you like chicken tandoori and all that. So he's like, "Arey, isko koi chup karao." I didn't know that I want to be a choreographer. It is just that I was dancing. It was good.
Right.
In those days, you can call it. Still, you can call it. Girls really get impressed by good dancers.
That's what most things start from, no?
Yes.
That's why people take to music. That's why someone study art also.
Yes,
dance.
Yes.
Yeah.
My approach was like I was a sportsman, so I was always impressing girls when I used to play sports. So you know somebody who's I always tell everybody कि हम है ना below average looking लड़के लोग हैं. ठीक है, like Shahid Kapoor, Hrithik Roshan, they don't know what we go through. So if somebody tells me कि यार Sagar, you're looking good today, or you know your hair is looking good, I'm like, you have no. I don't tell them though. I'm like in my head, and you have no idea how much I worked hard on that. 15 minutes I was in the fucking bathroom doing that and all that. Below average looking guy has to really work hard in college days to get girls, you know, and you know start dating. Or
ज़्यादा बेर हो गया यार. You're not below average by any means. What are you saying, boss? What are you saying?
Now I'm saying something in my head which is not. I really worked hard. नहीं यार ये बातें लड़कियां नहीं बोलती ना.
Well, actually, how does it matter? मैं क्या?
When I became a dancer, I realized I'm good at this. Yeah, people really like me. What used to happen before, no? Like if a choreographer calls you by your name, if they tell you कि Sagar थोड़ा right में आ जा. That was a big thing back then. That was a big thing that Saroj Khan knows you by your name.
How many dancers would there be?
There might be 100, 200, 40, 50, whatever.
Right.
But she knows you by your name.
She spotted you.
She spotted you. That means you are really dancing well. So that started happening with me. That you know, choreographers used to call me by my name.
So basically, you joined her troupe.
No.
You did not. Okay.
First, my shooting was with Ganesh Masterji. I did a song for him, and then I became Ganesh Hegde's dancer. So in those days, Ganesh Hegde is the finest choreographer India has ever seen. Not those days, still today, Ganesh Hegde is the bar. All due respects to Ganesh Hegde. So I am a huge fan of Ganesh Hegde. So I became a dancer to Ganesh Hegde. And in those days, when you are a Ganesh Hegde dancer, it is like, you know, you're like a Versace brand. Like you're Ganesh Hegde dancer. This guy can dance, man.
Right.
So that really changed for me. After I was done dancing for Ganesh Hegde, when I moved out working with other choreographers, I was really, you know, respected, and people used to call me for work. There was a show happening for Sarojji where there was Ganesh Hegde's song Kambak Tishk and Dum. It was a Saroj Khan night. So it was happening somewhere in Bangalore, and they called all 4-5 of Ganesh Hegde's dancers because Sarojji didn't want to change the choreography what Ganesh had done. She's like, "Nee, ye gana aise acha lag raha hai." So call his dancers and let them perform on this song. Although she had her own troupe.
Right.
So when I came with the whole swag and with the long hair and all that, तो कोई artist नहीं था वो show में. So she said, "अरे ये अच्छा दिखता है ये लड़का, इसको center में खड़ा कर दो." When I started dancing, she was really impressed.
Okay.
And she really liked my dancing and all that. And as soon as we got done with the show, she said, "Come to the rehearsal hall tomorrow, and there is something." So I thought she's called me for dancing. I wanted to be a dancer.
Yeah.
So when I went on the set, I was actually assisting her. She said, you are assisting and you will be coming here. And I was in a shock. I'm like, I'm assisting Saroj Masterji, and I had no idea that this can happen in your life.
Right.
It is always like this. You become a dancer, you become a good dancer, you become one of the assistant, and then you become the chief assistant, like that.
Right.
And I directly jumped the block to one of the assistant. I was not the chief assistant, but I became one of the assistants. So that was a thing. And somebody says something about themselves, it sounds rude, but I don't think any other dancer has done it before. Or, it's not doing it. It has happened with any other dancer that who's not.
What I think to be part of, man, I mean, she was genuinely an institution, isn't it? I mean, the fact that even we know choreography as an art form in Bollywood, which has been around forever, is because of her, because that's how there was a Filmfare Award given out in the first place. The first one she got was for Tezab, then she got like 3 thereafter. I mean, Hawaii. I mean, these are things we remember. What is she like, yeah?
She's a legend, and see, before Sarojji also there were many choreographers,
Exactly.
Those who have created a mark, like T.L. Raj. One of my favorite choreographers was Benjamin Herman, Teesri Manzil, and Chan Pehchano and all that song. All the Shammi Kapoor songs he used to do.
Were they all called Master's?
Yes.
All of them, right?
All of them. It is a designation you get as soon as you become a choreographer. They call you Masterji.
Right.
Although
even now,
now the old.
Do they call you Masterji?
Some.
Oh, they do?
Yeah,
Oh, interesting.
This was there till 2000. I think it changed in 2010-11.
Okay.
My wife used to look at when we used to go on the set, 23, 24, and somebody says, "Ki Master ji, kya karna hai?" So she's like, Master ji, they are calling you Master ji. It was a thing.
You made it.
Yeah, you made it. They are calling you Master. Sometimes it has happened with me ki Master ji, kya karna hai? Me? Acha. No, you can call me Sagar. Practically everybody is Master ji, alright? But nobody's got that, like, they call you Master ji. I think before Sarojji I can't say, but Sarojji was called Master ji.
Yeah.
And Ganesh Acharya is called Master ji. They are like, you don't have to say the name. Like, you don't have to say Ganesh Acharya. You will say Sagar and some other choreographer's name.
And Master ji.
When you say Master ji, that means it is Ganesh Acharya.
Interesting.
Or it is Sarojji. It is like that. I used to call Vebri ma'am.
You work with her as well?
Yes. So I never called her Master ji.
But would they be very different kinds of schools, like Weberby and Saroj Khan, in terms of the kind of choreography they did or song direction, as it was?
Yes. One thing common in them is, I think both of them are born to be choreographers. They were born choreographers, Sarojji and Vebri ma'am. I am too smaller to comment on their talent or say anything about them, because whatever I know is from both of them. Vebri ma'am was very much on the paper. She had a breakdown and her meetings and everything was very, you know what is going on. And Sarojji was very much in her head.
Spontaneous, huh? Okay, it's all in the head.
It's all in the head.
It's just not on paper.
It's not on the paper,
Right.
and she knew what is happening. She'd say, "Ye laga do and ye kar do aur yahan pe jaake khade ho ja." She would do the choreography, and then she set up the shot. You don't know what is the next shot. At least every ma'am had a breakdown. So these are two different schools. I by default have become
A mix of both.
But I do follow the breakup thing, which every ma'am did, so that my assistants know what I'm doing.
So you would have a short breakdown, Sagar?
Yeah.
Like before you shooting something, you would know exactly, the blocking. Is that something that you've done?
Yes.
Wow. Okay, most people don't realize that. Most people assume that it's the director who does that, even when they're seeing a song. But it's actually the choreographer who does it, right?
Yes. But the thing is, I am one of those choreographers. I don't know whether people are still doing it. Previously, because if I used to go on meeting with Sarojji or Vebri ma'am anyway, they used to take the narration. There is a full-blown narration of the film. What is happening? Why the hero is crying? Why this is like that? Everything is told to them. And then they decide what is going to happen. I am still living in the old days. When I go to work on my sets, or if I am working with the director, I will take the narration. It is with me. It's not ki Sagar item number hai to aa jao, and some chick who's dancing is doing the thing, and this is not related to the film. She's just dancing. I don't do that. Right. I will hear the script. I want to know what scene went before, what scene is there after. Do you want me to link it? Is there a music piece where there are some cops chasing and you're going to cut into that? Because I'm going to shoot that music piece and in the edit it's not going to be there. That mere screenplay mein aisa tha. Let me know. I always tell them, let me know what you want to do. You want to shoot a murder which happens in between the song? They're like, yeah, let me know. I will shoot it for you. You are going to mess up the musicality of the song. So I hear all my films. From Chak to now, I've always taken narration. So any film that I've done with Mani sir, for my regional film, like 80-90 are very screenplay related. So I need to know what my actor is and how his character is. If you give me a Hrithik Roshan or a Shahid Kapoor, I'll not start making them dance and because I have Hrithik Roshan, let's make him dance. This is the old school theory.
Right.
So you have to know what character that man is.
Right. Doesn't fit into the film. Right?
Doesn't fit into the film. Like if my hero is a ticket blacker or a taxi driver, he'll not start dancing like Michael Jackson all of a sudden. I have to know that अच्छा इसका कुछ childhood लिया था क्या जहाँ पे Michael Jackson का fan है ऐसा कुछ बोला नहीं. So my guy will dance like a chopri only like he would do in a Ganpati Visarjan and all. So that is very important to know that before you approach a song, how your actor is, no matter who that actor is, even if it's Amit ji or anybody, you have to see his character and then do it. And this I've learned from my bosses. Also I've learned from actors because senior actors like when Rishida was there, I was assisting in Fana, and he would come and my character can't do this, and they should have a conversation with our choreographers and they say no, my character will not do this. He'll dance but he'll not do. So this is very important that you learn with the experience.
So you work in Fana as well?
I worked in Fana with Baby Ma'am. I was an assistant in Dhoom 2. Mangal Pandey was Saroji's assistant. I was on Dhoom 2 working with Baby Man in Brazil. And when I came back, that is the time I called from Yash Raj production that there is a film, Adisa would like to meet you and Shimit would like to meet you. So I was assisting that time. So I went there, I thought I am going to sell myself as a choreographer. I knew that they have called me for choreography. So I thought I'll have to tell them what I have done. I think Adi sir had already decided that he...
So from a film like Chak, you get on to Ravan, which is a Mani Ratnam movie, man. That's pretty cool.
Till Mani Ratnam movie, it was a little bit of journey of like around 2-3 years. But as soon as I walked outside of Chak De India, I got a film with Ram Gopal Verma, which he was producing. Darling, jo Hindi mein bani hai, Faldeen hai. So he directed. Same thing was made in Tamil with Madhavan.
Okay.
And he was producing that. I got a call saying that Ramu sir wants to meet you. I went there. The director of Darling was there, and then I did a few more films down the line. The associate director of Chak De India, Karan Kashyap. So he was doing Ravan. So I met him somewhere. I said, "Yaar, tu Ravan kar raha hai, yaar, badi picture hai, yaar, mujhe gana." He's like, "You're mad or what? That is Mani sir's film, and see, just do me a favor. Tell him that I know this guy, and he can just promote me a little. That is how you should get work." Also, I was nominated in IFA for Das Kahaniyan. He said, okay, I'll try. And by the conversation, I realized, nahi hone wala yaar. Mani Ratnam ki picture ban rahi hai. Ravan was a big thing, Tamil, Telugu, bilingual and all that. And then suddenly, I get a call. He's like, come, tomorrow is your flight and you have to come to Jhansi to shoot the song. I'm like, huh? So then, when I went there, I had meetings with everybody. When I met Mani sir also, the first thing I asked him, obviously after taking a few shots, because it should not look like he is too excited about the thing. Although I was doing a Mani Ratnam film, super duper excited,
right.
I had to act calm. So
it's a job, right?
It's a job because first few years of my career I did so many big films and I had to act calm. So somehow I slipped into conversation to Karan that how kaise hua ye? How did I get the song? He's like, nahi, I told them ki we were looking for a choreographer, and then I told them ki I know this guy who's in Chak De India, and Mani sir went, acha Chak De India, yeah. Chak De India, by default, everybody had seen.
Right.
Like, to call him. Obviously, when I reached there, it was a shock for, over there also, it was a shock, hey, ye kaun hai bacha? Like that. There's one small story in that when I started shooting for Ravan, Ranja, now the song which is on air, it's like a do-it thing.
Right.
But it was actually a big song. There were 40 dancers and Priya Mani was dancing in it, and
like a proper Mani Ratnam song.
Like a proper Mani Ratnam song, and simultaneously there were Abhishek and Ash doing their thing. Because of the length or something like that, they chopped off the dancing portion. I was only called for the Hindi version. So when I was shooting, being such a filmy guy, I never sat on the chair on Ravan's set. I used to always sit down. Like that. I used to take the chair and I used to be like this. So Mani sir told me many times that, Sandip, sit up. Like, no sir, you sitting there, I can't sit up. I don't think I can sit up over there. I come from that.
Right. Only the director gets a chair.
No, a choreographer does get a chair, but with Mani Ratnam I can't sit beside Mani Ratnam and have a conversation. Although I was the head of department, I was not permitted.
I mean, after all, Mani Ratnam is directed Shah Rukh Khan, right?
And every
I know. But in your case, it's only Shah Rukh Khan. That's all you care about.
Because see, when we were assisting or when we were dancers, so there used to be a chair in front of the monitor, and that is the choreographer's chair. And my team relates to that. We never went and sat on that chair, even though if the boss is not there. And she told us, yaar ye aage ka do line tum kar lo. We never sat on that. That chair has respect. You have to earn it to sit on that chair. When I did Chak. The first 15 minutes, I was just staring at the chair and the monitor that I'm going to sit over there and direct the whole thing and all that.
Right.
So it was very respectful to get a chair to sit on the set.
So did you sit after that or not?
No, the full song I was sitting down. So I think Mani sir also connected and he said, "Dear Sagar, can you do something in Tamil? Do you understand Tamil?" I said, "My wife is Tamil." Like, I said, choreograph something in Tamil, no, and show me. As I told you, it was a dancing number before.
Right.
So me and Radhika, we went to a side and we put the sound on the Tamil version of the song. We choreographed something, we came back, we showed it to Mani sir, this is the thing. Next day I was supposed to go back to Bombay. He said, "Okay, you wait, now we'll do the Tamil version also." So there was some choreographer who was going to come to shoot the Tamil version. So that got canned and then I shot the Tamil version.
Interesting. Also. But in your case, Sagar, like given your life so far and all those things that you did at the time that you did, how did it go from there on? Was it a rosy freaking thing for you? Like was it a chill house once you've been with Chak De India, once you've done a Mani Ratnam film? Or was it still a lot of struggle that comes regardless?
After Chak De India and then getting nominated in the IFA, I didn't realize it then. It had become like a cakewalk because, in every few days I should get a call, either doing a South film or a Punjabi film or a Hindi film. I used to keep getting calls regarding that. It is that the thing changed when reality shows came in.
Okay.
And when the red camera came in.
Achha.
The cameras with the hard drive. So previously what we had learned from our bosses and everything is, like I'll cut it in short, so there was a 435, 235 and there was Super 16 camera. So Super 16 camera had a magazine of 10 minutes and 435 and 235 had 3.5 minutes and all that. So when you shoot a song, when I'm shooting Ravan or Chak De India, so the first thing the production or anybody who judges you in the meeting is like, "We are going to shoot the song for 2 days. How many magazines do you need?" So the next question from a choreographer goes is, "How long is the song?" So it's like 5 minutes. Are we shooting 48 frames or not? So then the negative goes more negative is utilized. So you have to know all of that to give the requirement. So if you give requirement, you may put 10 magazine chahiye. So that means the choreographer knows.
You won't waste lost focus.
And you're on the set and the magazine is over and then you tell the producer, magazine khatam ho gaya. So like, magazine kaise khatam ho gaya? Why did the choreographer didn't give you a proper
overshot, right.
requirement?
Right.
People will judge कि 3.5 minute का है ना, तो मेरा गाना 5 minute का, तो मेरे को 2 magazine लगेगा. It is not like that. You need, for a 5-minute song, minimum you will need 6 to 7 magazine. And if I would have given a call, I would have called for 9 for safety. You can obviously always send the other 2 back. It is that when this reality shows came in and when the red camera came in, so that judgment has completely gone.
Okay.
So for the production team or for anybody to judge you, the first step has, waiver off. So now the choreographer doesn't need to tell you how many magazines, because the hard drive is rolling, you are dumping it, and then again that hard drive is back. You can shoot as much as you want.
Right.
Like that. So that is one thing that changed, and you see, I have all due respects for all the reality show choreographers. I am not disrespecting any platform of dancing or choreography or abhi ye nahi kar rahe. I have got offered for so many reality shows or stage shows and events. I always wanted to do films. I have do songs in film, music videos. I have done stage shows also very less. I have only done films and music videos. Whoever wants to become a choreographer is open to become a choreographer. It is just that if you don't learn your craft well, then you will be spoiling somebody's money or somebody's opportunity, to get that, and you will anyways not make it because you've not learned. And somebody who's learned would have made it, but because he didn't get the opportunity that you got, and you wasted so much of talent being wasted, let it be directors, actors, other technicians, just because somebody is getting a job because of influence or knowing somebody or getting famous, that this guy got famous on the social platform. TikToker hai or YouTuber hai. And I'm telling you, so many of them I know have called. I'll not take name. There were reality show choreographers who used to get songs, big reality show choreographers like stars, and they called me and say, "Sagar sir, आप चलेंगे क्या मेरे साथ गाना shoot करने के लिए?" They could do the dancing part.
Right. But it doesn't mean that they'll be choreographers. Just because you can dance.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Exactly.
You have to know the technicalities. There was a choreographer who came from abroad called Flexi. He was the choreographer of Kites. So he was shooting a song for Gautam Menon in Hyderabad. It was a bilingual film, which was later made in Hindi with Pratik. So I got a call saying that there is this choreographer from abroad and we want you to associate him and come and shoot be a part of the song. So I am a learner. I still want to learn. I go and attend workshops of other choreographers now, also those who train and all that. I have assisted 9 choreographers. This is my 10th choreographer. I'll learn something what happens in Hollywood.
Sure.
And this is like 7-8 years down the line in my career. So I'm like, I want to learn. I'll go, let me learn. They knew who I was. So they're like, Arey Sagar, we were looking for an assistant, this, that. I said, not a problem, yeah. Not a problem. Don't give me the credit. I am coming there to learn. The AD over there, she was very sweet. It's like, no, we credit you as an associate and all that. That's completely fine. Whatever you do. I went there, I thought I'd learn the job. And when I go there, with all due respect to Flexi, he could only dance. And when I met Gautam sir, so me and Gautam sir used to talk about the shot and he used to show the choreography and he used to shoot it. So later what happened is Simbu and Naga Arjuna's son, they also started coordinating with me because they used to learn. So here, teaching dancing in India is the person who teaches you to dance on the set to any actor is usually the assistant choreographer. And the choreographer is mostly on the monitor. He's done the choreography in the rehearsal hall and all that. And then he's on the set, he's on the monitor. The assistant is doing that job. So it was that he was almost like assisting and I was shooting the song. Although we were like collaborating.
Right.
2-3 days down the line, I realized that I am doing so much of work. And I have not got anything to learn from this guy.
Right. तुम ही सिखा रहे हो उसको.
He was like, yaar, teach me how you are doing that. He was so fascinated with me. He literally came into my van. He said, teach me how everybody is listening to you. And literally with his hands joined, he said.
And that is a director's job, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like in Hollywood, we don't get to talk to the director. How is that everybody is listening to you and you are talking and everybody is coming and asking you, but here it is like that. You have done the choreography. You have to know what angle you have to put to,
right.
That should look nice. So then 2-3 days down the line, I was actually feeling a little low that, all the credit will go and I worked so hard and actually I have only shot this song. थोड़ा सा वो मेरा human tendency that सीखने तो आया था वो तो सीखा नहीं ऊपर से मतलब credit भी अपने को नहीं मिला. So I think Gautam Menon saw it in my face and he's like, what are you worried about? I said nothing sir. अभी बोलूँगा तो खराब लगेगा. So he's like, Sagar, you will get equally credited for the song. Just मतलब he realized that इसका concentration थोड़ा कम हो रहा है. Right. You will get equally credited for the song. Don't get hassled. Just do your job. Tell me what is the next shot and all that. This is how it is in India. You have to choreograph. You have to know how to shoot. That is how you will reach your goal of making the song look good. I always tell everybody that you like the song. Yes, I did. You didn't like the song. I don't blame कि मेरे को ये नहीं मिला, वो नहीं मिला. Artist 4 बजे आया, ये आया. You didn't like the song. My mistake. I am bad. It is my fault. Current चली गई, मेरा ही गलती.
When something like that happens, Sagar, when and that is true for film in general, right? Because it survives, public memory for years. उस दिन current नहीं गई थी, किसको बताओगे? हर कुछ आदमी को तो बताओ नहीं यार, उस दिन ये हुआ था, right? People will watch it for what it is. Does it become a high pressure job, especially when, say for instance, you get onto a shoot and you just have one day to shoot this? Does it become something that really begins to bother you? Do you become a person who's really pissed off on a set? Does that bother people around you? Does that happen? Is it a high pressure job? And does that sometimes show in your own personality because it's just pissing off? Come on, be honest. Come on, be honest. Be honest.
One by one they laugh. I don't know whether they laugh. So usually I am not under pressure. It is a fact. I am not under pressure. My team is shitting bricks. In my head, I am going to go there, I am going to kill it. And one thing I am very confident about is, I know my job. The only thing that can delay me is the camera not running. That is the only thing that can delay me. I know my job, I'll come up with a backup plan. I know I will always know because I've taken the narration or even if it's a music video, I know that the artist is not such a good dancer or a good dancer. I know my space where I'm going. It's just that I inform my team that this we are doing. You will do this and you can't fuck it up. So I appoint jobs like that. Usually in a one-day song, if you go to see a choreographer, he is very pressurized. I am not. My assistants must have been. I have no clue about that. This is how Webby ma'am was. Webby ma'am will never be like, kya ho raha hai, and she knows her job. You do your job. So I am trained like that. Right. So that is how I treat my assistant. That I am doing my thing. I have done the choreography. I am doing this. Go set up. Teach the actors. Go to the van sir. Van money and not my headache. Find, teach him, bring him. Like that. And if some AD has to handle something, take the help.
How important is it for you, for instance, to get along with the director?
Very.
Right? What if he turns out to be a jerk? I'm sure you've done so many songs, you've done so many films in multiple languages. What if it turns out to be someone who doesn't get you and that thinks perhaps that you're arrogant kind of guy? Has that happened to you?
Yeah. So, previously when I started, when I was young, I didn't know how to approach if somebody was negative towards me or had this thing that I am the director. So I have done a few projects where I was very bothered. I have an issue of working with negative people. I can't do that. I'll walk off. I'll walk off from the meeting. So I can't work with a negative production guy or a negative TOP or a director.
What's negative?
I have learned my crafts. I've been called for a meeting. Alright.
Don't teach me my craft. Is that what you're saying?
See, the director has the rights to give me that Sagar, this is the space, you can't do this and that. Lot of director like this that, as I said, I've walked off, so I've not worked with most of them, who think they are directors and they don't know. And the problem with these people are that because you know, so everybody else should not come to know that you know better.
These are insecure people.
Butter, ऐसा तो नहीं करना. Tongue twister तो नहीं.
अभी तो आप करें.
I'm saying because it is their insecurity that you see. I work with Shimit, I work with Mani sir. I've worked the same way with Sanjay sir. Everybody. I work the same way that I am. When I was young, when I'm getting old, I am working the same way. My style of working cannot change. I have been trained like that,
Right.
So I am doing the same thing. And when somebody gets insecure or somebody ye nahi karna, so I realize, okay, there is something wrong about him. Or what is it? Matlab, we are doing the songs. I always try to read the vibe. There are some like executive producers. They think they are producers. So they'll make you run for your money. Or they'll say, itna kya hai? Most of the people must have heard this. Those who have become assistant from some big choreographer. For example, they used to tell me कि इतने में तो हम सरोज खान को ले आएंगे. So I'm like, fine, if you work with Sarojji. In my head, I know, dude, if you had worked with Sarojji and Sarojji was doing a song, you wouldn't have been sitting with me. So I'm like, fine then. I consider myself a small choreographer. If you want to get somebody bigger than me, it's fine. And this is one thing that it is not bigger and smaller. You know your job, you do it. That Manoj Vajpayee told one thing कि एक सीरियल में वो एक्ट कर रहा था जिसमें उसको डायलॉग्स नहीं थे. तो उसका पेमेंट रोक दिया इन्होंने और बाद में जब वो पैसे लेने गया तो उसको बोला कि अरे तुम्हारा क्या पैसे इतना ले लो तुम्हारे तो डायलॉग्स भी नहीं थे. सो दे थिंक दैट अ कोरियोग्राफर व्हाट इज अ कोरियोग्राफर डायरेक्टर इज डूइंग हिज जॉब कैमरामैन इज डूइंग हिज जॉब ये तो खाली नाच के बता रहा है या ये कर रहा है. सो इसका क्या इतना इंपॉर्टेंस है. दे ट्राई टू ओवरपावर यू एंड ऑल दैट एंड the tone they have. See, when you work with good people, they have a particular tone. They'll give you your space. You've called a choreographer, let him do his job. If I am entering your space, if I am going to start teaching you how to direct or how to do your production, how you can save money, then I am the wrong guy.
Right. Is that something that happens across the board, Sagar? Because I'm asking this because you're also the president, and if I'm not mistaken, the youngest president of India's Choreography Association, which is a pretty old body. Does that association look into these things about protecting interests of choreographers? There's so many of them. Is it something that you face on a regular basis?
See, I'll tell you about the presidentship first. It's like I have just become the president 2 years back. And obviously the body is from 1975 and everybody from Sarojji to Farhana ma'am, everybody has been a member over here. It is just that me and Master Ji is the general, Ganesh Acharya Ji is the general secretary. So from the time this new body has come in, we are just trying to make it as much as friendlier.
When you say Master Ji, you mean Ganesh Acharya?
Ganesh Acharya.
Always. Okay.
Always.
Right.
So all of us as a team are just trying to make it as friendlier to every choreographer. Somebody is in bad medical condition or something like that. What we have done, I don't comment about the previous committee. They must have run it according to them, their rights and what they felt is right. What Master Ji is doing, because see, Master Ji is a very big name and he has his own foundation also. He's been helping people. As soon as he became the general secretary, his approach was no grey shades. It's very black and white. He's like, we have to help people. We have to help member who needs the union in any way. Whatever best you can do to help the member, do it. Because see, general secretary is always the biggest post. Then comes the president, the treasurer. But nothing happens without the entire committee's approval. That is how a union runs. So he's got everybody together. So everybody has the same kind of.
But tell me something. Also, because one is, say for instance, there's a stuntman's association, right? And for you to become a stunt person, in Bollywood, you should be a member of Stuntman Association, and thereafter, that's how everyone's become a stunt director. Is that how it works with choreographers as well? Is that you need to be a member first and thereafter become...
Yeah, so Fighters Association is how, Fighters Association and Action Director Association is the same thing.
Okay.
Which, luckily, when they must have started, they thought that this should have been the same body. So there it is very sorted. Fighters and assistant and action directors are in the same union. In South also the dancers union, assistant choreographers are the same union. Here it is different. Here the dancers union is different.
Okay.
So when I was a dancer, I was a member of other dancers union. Now when I became an assistant, I became a member over here, the choreographers association.
Right.
Dancers handle their issues their way because they have a president.
But usually how difficult do you think it is to have a union when everyone's an artist? It's usually hard, right? Because everyone has their own egos, everyone has their own arrogance, so to say. Not everyone loves each other. Is that an issue that you see?
That is an issue that you don't see, you get to know. But then again, you can't trust all the sources. So, if somebody tells me that one of your colleagues who's your friend, he thinks that ये president बन गया है तो ऐसा
कुछ समझता होगा अपने आप
ये अपना
arrogant है ये
बहुत arrogant है और how is he handling मतलब वो वाला जो इतना छोटा लड़का president बन गया I want to help people and I want to do whatever best I can. If God has blessed us with little bit of that financial security and you've got enough work, like Ganesh Master Ji is 35 years, that man is continuously working. Like I think from the time he has come till now, he has been where he is. He's not gone down. He's continuously doing what he's doing, and he still wants to help people. I have seen people who take help from him and come asking for help from him are the same people, those who will go and then badmouth about him. So
do you get badmouth about?
I do get, but then
how do people say around ये अपने आप को क्या समझता है types?
Not in front of. There are two different ways. As a president is one thing, and then as a choreographer.
As a choreographer.
Now I'll tell you something. I heard from a very big name that there is something called as, I don't know whether it was there. So once I heard him saying, okay, I'll take the name because he said it on camera. Salim sir said they said that आप बहुत arrogant थे and all that. So he said it is not arrogance as an attitude. It is called as arrogance of knowledge. I am nowhere comparing myself to them. They are legends. I am a peanut.
Right.
So I have got beaten up by my mentors and got shouted and got thrown out of the set, stand outside, don't come inside. I have gone through that. I have gone through a schooling of how to shoot a song. And if I have done mistakes, my bosses have made sure that I make it a point that I don't do it again.
Right.
That is why I know my craft very well. So if I tell, what happens on my set is something is going to go wrong. This happens to me many times. So something is going to go wrong and I'll go and tell कि अगर ये किया तो वो नहीं मिलेगा. Anything can be an example. So अरे नहीं try तो करते ना. So पहले I used to be like नहीं मिलेगा and all that. ऐसा उसमें तू मैं हो जाता था. So now I keep quiet. Now that thing has fucked up, which I told. Now that person, it is not my fault. I was telling, okay, you said ho jayega, I didn't say anything. Now that fuck up has happened. Now you are feeling more bad. Now you can't look into my eyes. And
I told you so.
I told you so, but I am not doing that also. But it is your insecurity or your behavior or however you feel that अरे यार अभी इसने साले को ज़्यादा ही समझ में आ रहा है and all that. So this is what happens to me, and like most of the time if I go to shoot a song, usually a director is a first timer. Mostly ऐसा होता था कि पिक्चर गाने से शुरू करते हैं यार तो माहौल बन जाएगा, लोग ऐसा बोलते हैं माहौल बन जाएगा. एक्टर अगर कैरेक्टर में नहीं है तो गाने के बाद आ जाएगा, गाने में चलता है अगर कैरेक्टर में नहीं है तो and all that. That's all their assumption. So I have to go. Now when I go on the set, like a after 10 years or 12 years, I've gone on the set. I know my job. I'm doing my thing. My assistants are running here, this, that. I've done my thing. I've earned my respect from the team after showing my caliber. So they've come, अरे मास्टर जी, this, that, ऐसा. This, I said ना कि पहला 2-4 शॉट में वो आपको पता चलता है कि सागर बुलाएंगे या मास्टर जी. Now what happens is that is the time your director, who is the first timer, who actually wants this to happen with him somewhere down the line. The first day is call you, forget about me. Even if you would have called an action director on the set, no, it would have happened with the action director. When a choreographer is there or an action director is there, they are commanding. The director is in the back seat. The director is seeing whether it's going according to my film. He obviously will enter and take your space that no, this is not, don't do, my film is getting fucked, so they'll do that. But new directors, they don't know that. So when you get that kind of importance on the set and all that, which should actually not be their concern, they start getting bothered or they start getting insecure and all that. Right. So they start behaving differently. Which is what I don't like. My first approach is very friendly. Unless you try to rub me the wrong way, I'll give you the same medicine you are trying to dose me off with. So that is my thing. Especially my wife is always pressurizing me that don't do this, let it be, karne do usko, and you do your thing. So now we've made it a point because she handles everything, my dates, my PRs and everything. So what she does now is, आपकी फिल्म चालू हो रही, हाँ पहला गाने से चालू करो, सिर्फ नहीं गाने से मत चालू करो, आप पहले सीन चालू करो. What happens is सीन चालू कर लिया, आप हीरो बन गए सेट में, ठीक है, आप डायरेक्टर हो, आपका ये हो, आप कोरियोग्राफर आ रहा है, हाँ अब आपको प्रॉब्लम नहीं हो रही है क्योंकि आपने 4-5 दिन वैसे निकाल लिए. So now we've got into this कि यार उसको बोले तू इनसिक्योर हो रहा है, ये हो रहा है, ये कोई मानेगा नहीं. कोई बंदा माना है कि तू इनसिक्योर हो रहा है, नहीं यार पागल है, इनसिक्योरिटी नहीं, इट्स नॉट लाइक दैट. अरे मैं वो सोच रहा था नॉल, तो कोई मानने नहीं वाला है. सो रादर यू मेक इट अ पॉइंट दैट यू come afterwards. If you have an answer for everything, it will bother anyone. There can be a moment that I am wrong. Tell me I am wrong. Recently I was shooting with my friend, his name is Mandip Benipal, he is a big director in Punjab. So I went and I said कि यार ये गाना मैं ऐसे कर रहा हूँ और ये ऐसे करते हैं करके. So he always gives me my space, but suddenly he said नहीं सागर ये ऐसे मत कर. I'm like नहीं मंदीप ये अच्छा लगेगा, हीरो ऐसे, नहीं यार ये मत कर. पहले मेरे को लगा ऐसे क्यों कर रहा है यार, हम 2-3 फिल्में कर चुके साथ में. Then I realized no, fine, okay, this film he is approaching in a different manner and he doesn't want the heroism to come up like this. It was like a college politics kind of a thing. I said okay fine, let's not do this, and we do this. I realized so I do listen to people. It is just that you have to tell me that this is it. If you don't have the answer and if I am right, why is that bothering you? This is my request. If any other director or choreographer who is watching, producer, anybody, executive producers who is watching this, if I know to do my job, I am just telling you, I am not there to bother you, to make you feel down. I am very young, I am very small, I must have done less work, no arrogance, no attitude. It is just that I am trying, in case अगर आप कहीं गलत जा रहे हो, ये information शायद आपको help कर रहा है. अगर नहीं help कर रही है, it's fine with you, then it's fine. I'm just giving information, which now I have stopped doing. Recently I was shooting a song in a regional language. The director came and we were shooting in one day, so it was pressurized and my team was running here and there. He said कि यार 3-4 हीरोइन थे गाने में, तो उनको वो नथनी पहना दो. So I was like fine, yeah, पहना दो. Now none of the girls had a hole in their nose to fit it in. So obviously they put the clip one. तो जब पहला रिहर्सल हुआ तो 2 हीरोइन के नाक से वो गिर गया. दिस इज अ बेसिक थिंग, इससे बड़ा होता है, बट तो मैंने बोला निकाल दो यार. एवरी टेक हाउ यू विल मैनेज द कंटिन्यूटी, एक के नाक में है दूसरे के नहीं है, तो मैंने बोला निकाल दो. नाउ दिस हैज बॉदर्ड द डायरेक्टर सेइंग कि मैंने बोला था पिलाने. अरे भाई वो गिर रहा है नाक से, मतलब you want me to check on this on every close up, every take that this is falling.
And nose can't be the point of the whole song.
Yes, and it is, see, even if it is looking very authentic and all that, it is falling. It is not working. In the middle of the shot, it will go flying there. It might come flying on the lens. So it is not working. If they had a piercing in their nose, it was fine. Now this has bothered him. Now what can I do about this? I had no answer, so I just continued doing my job. If he's got offended or he's felt bad, I mean no disrespect to him. I know that it will fall. It fell. Now I'm not keeping it in the song.
Why you call Superman?
Now I like to say that I finish my songs really fast.
Okay.
Now I say that. But what happens is this Superman's job right now to finish your song decently. Time ही नहीं मिलता है आजकल. I shot तेरे बिन लादेन one song for 8 days. I shot Chak India for 4 days. Now I have forgotten about those days कि 4 दिन 5 दिन मिलते थे. When I was Saroji's assistant, I shot one song as an assistant for 16 days.
Crazy.
अब तो 1 दिन 2 दिन मतलब बड़ा कोरियोग्राफर है, इसको 2 दिन मिल रहा है गाना करने के लिए. But when I was growing up, when I was in school, I was Superman. अभी सबको छोटा भीम पसंद है, क्योंकि छोटा भीम आ रहा है. इसके पहले की जनरेशन को शक्तिमान पसंद था. तो I've grown up watching Superman. I like Superman. वो एस था, तो बनते वो कॉलेज में भी आ गया सुपरमैन एस, डांसिंग में भी आ गया, और अब गाने भी कर रहे तो सुपरमैन, सुपर सागर, सुपर टीम. हमने कुछ तो हमने खुद ही बना लिया है बकैती में ऐसा. सो नाउ पीपल आस्क मी कि सुपरमैन क्यों बुलाते हैं तुमको, तो मैं like Sunny Leone has said it, and Ali Zafar has said it. Soham Shah, very big DOP, he says it that you are Superman. You know, Soham and Ali, we have not mentioned also anything about. They just say, "Arey yaar, ye jaldi kar raha hai, so you are doing it super fast. You are like Superman." So now we made it a thing that it works as a brand. वो वर्क कर रहा है, सबको लग रहा है, हाँ कोई बोल रहा है. अब इसमें भी किसी को कुछ प्रॉब्लम हो रहा होगा, ये खुद को सुपरमैन बुला रहा है, हाँ भाई बुला रहा है, तो अपने आप को बुला ले.
स्पाइडरमैन बोलिए.
हाँ तो स्पाइडरमैन बुला ले अपने आप को. नहीं तू सुपरमैन ही बना ले.
The other thing that you have, Sagar, is that all your social media stuff, you say Team Sagar.
Team Sagar.
Which is probably not true for most people, at least certainly not true for choreographers. Or I think the only one I can think of is like say when Rohit Shetty directs a movie, he says directed by Rohit Shetty and team, right? Is that where you picked it up from, or is it something that you had all through?
No, I used to play state level football before I became a choreographer. So I'm always a team person, and I always feel that whatever I have achieved and whatever I have done from Chak till now, I wouldn't have able to be where I am. One especially is for my mentors, they've taught me everything. But without my team support, I bash them, I treat them so brutally. I am so strict with them while we are on the set. But they don't let go of me, and these are few people in my life, they know more about me and they want to work. And so I feel that whatever I can achieve in a song, whatever I have done in any song, if people say कि यार सागर तेरा गाना बहुत अच्छा है, so I feel कि यार it has happened because of my team. Sometimes there are producers who call me and say कि सागर यार आ जाओ गाना करना है, we cannot afford assistants and all, you come. So I always tell them यार एक काम करो, whatever you, because if they are friends and I want to work with them, so I say whatever you are giving, give me, that's fine. But I am getting my team. One thing is I don't want to work alone. My team relies on me, and I rely on them. There is a lot of heavy lifting that they do physically on the set, which I had done when I was an assistant.
Right.
So I want people to know that it is not just Sagar, it is Team Sagar. Team Sagar has done Chak De India, Team Sagar has done Khali Pili, and everything is done by Team Sagar. Yes, I am the choreographer, I do the choreography, but without my team, it is not possible. It is not possible to pull off.
So song director, choreographer, Sagar Das. I know your team has been sitting and watching this and has been laughing all through this conversation. I want the viewers to see Team Sagar Das. First, get the team over and introduce them.
So I'll first call my wife, Radhika.
Yes.
So this is the assistant I got pregnant twice. The other assistant whom I couldn't get pregnant is my male assistant, Sandy. So,
obvious reasons.
Next is Farhana. Farhana is a friend, she was with me from dancing days. Then is Pratiksha. Pratiksha is also an actress now.
Oh, nice.
On stage. And my very hot property,
Yo.
Sahifa. Sahifa is like, making the temperature high on the reels and TikTok videos and all.
When you work in films, is there a template that's given to you? कि यार जैसे कि एक ऐसा म्यूजिक वीडियो होता है तो मुझे ऐसे एक कोई म्यूजिक वीडियो मांगता है, जैसे कि उसने ऐसा डांस किया मुझे वही मूव चाहिए. Does that kill your creativity or does that happen at all? Because I keep hearing about it, but I've never heard someone talk about it on camera.
So this might get me caught up in many ways, but I will say it because I was like one of the flag bearers of not doing it. So what happened is, as soon as YouTube hit India, so I became a choreographer before that, where people were not getting into all the nitty-gritties and like Chak De India, if you see the song, or Ravan if you see the song, you will not be, there is no referencing to it. Previously also with my mentors, when you get a song, there is a long, मतलब आज मीटिंग हुआ तो कल गाना नहीं होता है, जो आज होता है. Nowadays it can happen. पहले ऐसा नहीं होता था. So you got a song today. Now there is a big meeting, 4-5 days, art director, 2-3 days, costume designer, they are getting samples, they are drawing stuff. Art director is literally drawing the set, no, ये नहीं use होगा, क्या material लगेगा, वो ऐसा करके वो पूरा it used to take place. Which earlier in my career I was against. I tried my level best not to fall into it. But then I was left with no option. I was so cornered that I had to do it. I went to a producer and then he said कि यार सागर कुछ referencing करके ला. So I'm like referencing to sir आप मुझे गाना दो and I'll think of something. नहीं I want to see. Firstly I didn't get a point, so he started showing me some songs on MTV and okay, so we have to do I want to do this only.
But ये तो बन चुकी है.
हाँ, अब ये कैसे बोले ना, वो काम भी दे रहा है अपने को. तो मैं बहुत ये कोशिश किया उसको बोलने का कि यार I'm a choreographer and let me do my creative stuff, I'll get you something. So that didn't go well with him, so फिर मैंने वो प्रोजेक्ट छोड़ दिया. तो ऐसा 2-3 बार हुआ मेरे साथ. अब 2-3 बार होने के बाद later I started realizing I became a person who was saying, पता है ये गाना ये मेरे को मिला, पता है वो गाना वो मुझे ऑफर हुआ था. I'm like, what is this rubbish I am doing? Because later in future I'll be saying कि कोई मेरे को पूछेगा तेरा कौन सा गाना है, मैं बोलूँगा चक दे इंडिया, बाकी ये मेरे को मिला था, ये मेरे को मिलने वाला था, वो मैं करने वाला था, ऐसा हो जाएगा. So I realized कि people have gone that way. So I said चलो यार करना पड़ेगा अभी. Then somebody told me आगे कुछ रेफरेंस बताओगे, मैंने बोला हाँ. तो मैंने उनको रेफरेंस बता दिया, उसके साथ मैंने अपना बजट भी बता दिया. उसने रेफरेंस ले लिया, बजट नहीं लिया. तो मेरे साथ अब उसके बाद मेरे को ऐसा हो गया, ये गाना देख, अब मैं वो बोल भी नहीं सकता क्योंकि वो तो हॉलीवुड का ही रेफरेंस है. तो आई कैन से कि ये मैं करने वाला था, तो क्या करने वाला था, तो बियॉन्से का गाना है.
So ना इज्जत ना पैसा.
तो जब 2-3 बार मेरे साथ ऐसे हुआ कि मैंने रेफरेंस दिया, उसने रेफरेंस ले लिया और गाना किसी और कोरियोग्राफर से करा लिया. One thing I'll tell you is, once I was shooting recently I was shooting a Hindi film, can't take the name though. So the big producer, so he kept telling me कि यार सागर, let's do something outside the box. I'm like यार ये मिला, ये समझ रहा है मुझे, अब मैं इसको दूंगा, अभी मैं ऐसा गाना. And we were shooting in London, so we were supposed to get like dancers and there's a very big song in London. I gave him one big talk. I said sir, ये आपने मुझे मौका दिया है ना, अब आप देखो जो गाना मैं आपके लिए करूंगा ना, that will become a reference for other songs. अब मैंने उसको दिया रेफरेंस, उसने बजट निकाला, उसका एकदम ऊपर नीचे हो गया, अरे नो वी कांट डू दिस. बजट निकाला, ही इज टेलिंग मी नहीं, ही इज चैलेंजिंग मी क्रिएटिवली, ही इज नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट द बजट. सो ही केप्ट सेइंग ये नहीं हो सकता यार. सो देन आई गिव हिम अनदर आइडिया, आई पिच्ड हिम 5 आइडियाज. सडनली द प्रोड्यूसर्स वाइफ टेल्स मी कि यार गाने का कुछ नया कॉन्सेप्ट होना चाहिए ना. आई वेंट मैड. आई सेड कॉन्सेप्ट, म्यूजिक वीडियो कर रहे हैं क्या? लड़की लड़के से रूठी हुई है, आपका पिछला सीन गया है, राइट? ऑब्वियसली मैं अभी शादी का कॉन्सेप्ट नहीं बता सकता ना आपको. आई हैव टू फॉलो द स्क्रीन प्ले ना. मतलब लड़की, मैं डायरेक्टर को बोला लड़की रूठी हुई है ना लड़के से, दिस इज हैपनिंग एक्चुअली, दिस इज हाउ द मीटिंग इज गोइंग. लड़की रूठी हुई लड़के से, राइट? लाइक हाँ. तो मैं बोला मनाने की कोशिश कर रहा है, यही कॉन्सेप्ट है. बोला मैं ये कॉन्सेप्ट में मैं हैरी पॉटर ले आऊं क्या, मैं क्या करूंगा? एंड आई हैव सेड दिस वर्ड्स, मैं हैरी पॉटर लाऊंगा. मैं हाउ, व्हाट इज कॉन्सेप्ट? There is no concept in a film song. There is a situation which you have given me. I am catering you according to that. Then क्योंकि मैंने अब प्रोड्यूसर की वाइफ को बोल दिया, तो प्रोड्यूसर साहब मुझे साइड में लेके बोला सागर यार समझा कर, वैसे नहीं है जो तूने दिया है ना, उसका ऐसा ऐसा ये बजट आ रहा है. मैं बोला सर ऐसे बोलो ना, let's go the other way around. Tell me what your budget is. He said this is my budget. Within 5 minutes I said कि ऐसा करेंगे सर, ये करेंगे, ये रहा आपका बियॉन्से, ये ब्रिटनी स्पीयर्स, ठीक है, यहाँ से कर लेंगे, ये ऐसा लगेगा. हाँ ये we got it ऐसा. अब ये 1 महीना चला था हमारा. Where he kept telling me कि नहीं you think something outside. मुझे 4-5 दिन के ऐसा लगने लग गया, मेरे में कुछ कमी है लग रहा है. मैं इसको बता नहीं पा रहा हूँ कि मैं क्या करना चाहता हूँ. Then एक बार मैंने ये भी सोचा यार रेफरेंस के बिना लगता है समझाना मुश्किल होता है आजकल.
That's true, right?
Due respect to everybody. I don't mean disrespect to any choreographer who's working. I'm not bothered with their work and all that. It is just that any song that you see right now, 90% of it, you will see it on VH1 or somewhere else on YouTube or some Korean video or Thai video. So my thing is like till date, 14 years down the line, they don't set my choreography. I will come, I will do my choreography and I will make my breakdown and you guys will work. I became a choreographer because I want to hear the song and I want to dance on it and I want to create something new. And if you guys are doing that and I am just doing the business part of it, like कितने पैसे आएंगे, आपको कितने मिलेंगे, मुझे कितने मिलेंगे, और वहाँ जाके मैं okay not okay कर रहा हूँ. What am I creating? How am I a creator? You know, how am I in the creative job? I want to do the choreography. I'll set it up. So that satisfaction has to be there. So this music video thing I do, but there are directors that I work with still. Like if you see Khali Pili, that Ananya Pandey and Shan Cutter. I did one song with where they are kids. And you know, there is no referencing to it. We shot different ways. And I remember Makbul is a very close friend of mine and I'm really thankful to him that he gave me that job. So when I went on the set, the song was so tough and बच्चे लोग हैं और crowd है, so मैंने उसको मस्ती में बोला यार ये इतना tough गाना मुझे दे दिया. He said तू आएगा या तू कुछ कर लेगा, like that. So there was no referencing to it. So I got to do it. I came up with the new hook step and all that thing works. So when I see that song, I am satisfied. Yes, I'm not saying I have not copied any song referencing wise. Because of the producers or somebody director or sometimes it's the artist. Bread and butter भी यही है. I don't want कि मैं कोई गाना करूँ और कोई बोले अरे यार ये तो मैंने वहाँ देखा हुआ. So that is why now I'm following it. But mostly the directors I work with in Bombay, in Punjab, there is Mandeep and everybody. They give me my space. There are still songs that I'm doing where I'm sitting with the art director and we are literally thinking कि backdrop कैसे होगा instead of taking it from some other set. With a costume designer, like a Marathi song I did called Shabidar Shabi, where the girl is wearing a jeans and she's wearing a kashta sari on top of it, and you can see one leg of denim. I had not seen that anywhere. We just came up with that idea, and the costume chick went mad, and she was like, till the first take we took, we were trying how to sort it out. और वो कैसे लगेगा यहाँ से बड़ा लग रहा है. And now if you go, I think 17-18 million views, and now if you go on YouTube, everybody's made TikTok on that song, where the girls in their houses, they're dancing in that song, and they are wearing a denim and they are wearing a sari on it. So it makes me feel proud. That is what I want to do. That is how I like.
There was a song which we were shooting. It was a bar sequence. We were shooting it with Katrina Lopez. So they wanted to create something कि she's stripping, believers are. That was the concept. कि वो करते वो last में she comes in two things. Sensual song starts is when you are wearing a gown or a very sexy outfit. He started with sari strip होता है, and you have to see the beginning edit. It is so soothing for your eyes. मतलब वो ऐसे नहीं होता है, अरे ये इधर से उधर कट गया, अरे उधर से ऐसे नहीं होता गाना. You have to cut it in a way where your eyes are not blinking. You can't make it out कि किधर से किधर कटा वो आपको पता नहीं चल रहा है. It doesn't come out as cheap. वो striptease है. But it comes across a very sophisticatedly done, so it doesn't come across a.
From the start, she starts in a sari, and by the second antra, she reaches up to a lingerie, and it all goes continuity wise. When we were making the breakdown, I still remember. So ये यहाँ से कटेगा, ये वहाँ से कटेगा, इतना length होगा, ये होगा. So after first 2 minutes of the song, I told her कि ये सही लग रहा है. मैं when I pitched this idea, will they like it? So she said कि अरे पहला 10 मिनट उनके समझ आएगा क्या कि तुमने क्या किया है, तभी तो उनको मतलब they have to understand what you're doing.
अगर 10 मिनट और कॉन्वर्सेशन चले ना, तो मैं भी तेरे हित पे ठीक करूँगा. I need to be careful.
After this interview, whenever you interview some other director or producer, ये आपके गाने का कितना कोरियोग्राफी का फिल्म छोड़ो, मैं आपको बात करूँगा कि गानों के साथ कंटिन्यूटी नहीं है गाने.
If you were to tell me to watch 4 or 5 Sagar choreography, which one should I certainly look out for?
That was bestest choreography and I was loving it.
He gave a cabaret hook step to it.
Right.
It's a Punjabi song.
I was not getting the step. First she said cabaret. I was doing it. I was still not on the point. Then she explained to me, oh, okay, fine. Then I understood and then I got into it. Finally I did it.
The thing is, when you are sitting around with, say, a boss, as it were, and especially when the boss is drinking, I actually want the ones who are not drinking to come up with the real truth, right? And the reason why I'm saying that is also because this is also part of culture of choreography. We hear all these bizarre stories of how Saroj Khan used to be an extremely like a tough one on the set. It's part of how you are with your colleagues, as it were. It's like a guru shishya kind of situation. कि ऐसा नहीं होगा तो सीखेगा कैसे types, right? It's only fair that I ask. I'll start with you. What is the toughest situation you've been with your boss, as it were?
He's my friend.
You can say anything, huh? He can be a friend. But right now, you have one chance to say it in public. एक मौका आपको मिला है. इसके बाद मिलेगा कि नहीं मिलेगा मुझे नहीं पता.
ये मौका मैं नहीं खोगी.
खाली जोर से बोल.
Working with him, it's like you do or die. You have to give your best, and if you're wrong,
So it's on your face. You take it or you back out, whatever. You have to give your best, and that's fair, I feel. You know, your friend outside the set.
Sure, that's afterward.
Afterward.
Get a drink afterward.
Yeah, when we are on set, I call him Master G on set. For me, he is Master G. I call him Master G. So I have that fear, when we are working. So एक डर है कि अभी this happens. This actually happens.
Yeah.
अगर मैं सरोज जी के साथ भी काम करूँ तो मुझे इतना डर नहीं लगेगा जितना सागर के साथ एक्चुअली लगता है, और मेरे से ज्यादा आप सैंडी को पूछ सकते हो.
The thing is, his expectation from us is a lot.
Yeah.
So all the pressure is on us. Okay, me
and we want to
all
give
of
the
us.
best मतलब 100 out of 100.
And we don't like to disappoint him.
Yeah.
क्योंकि इसका मुंह ही उतर जाता है जैसे ही कुछ भी हमारे तरफ से
on face
we can read. जैसे ही हमारे तरफ से कुछ ये हो जाता है ना गड़बड़, तो we make out from his face only how his team is not at par.
Like before we move to Sandy, I'll just say something about Farah and Sahifa. Is mostly about Farah is because Farah and we were friends, and as I said, she was my senior also. She's bullied me when I became a dancer. She was senior. But one thing all of them do is by default, which I have not asked them to do. Alright, they are my friends. They know outside the set we are friends. Inside the set we are, we maintain that relationship. So even if they smoke or they drink or whatever they do, when we are working, they will never do it in front of me. And especially I am very amazed with Farah because it is a fact. If Farah would be standing next to me and be smoking, practically I wouldn't have told her anything. I might tell Sahifa or I might tell Sandy because they were not my colleagues. But because she's also brought up as a dancer the same way I have brought up. We have the same aesthetics. So when we are friends, we have done rubbish shit together when we are on party and all that. But I have never seen her on my set, smoke in front of me or drink or do any misbehaving kind of thing. When she's working with me, she's so professional, and this is why they are my friends. They are working with me, that's a different case, but they are my friends because they respect the work. She's not respecting me by not smoking in front of me. This is how she's been brought up. She'll not do it in front of any choreographer because she'll respect. So that is the thing about her and her also.
And one more thing I want to say, means working with Master Ji, you get to learn lot of things. Means आपको ये चीज शायद बाहर नहीं मिलेगी, technically wise, especially. Outside if you are working, आप अपना choreography करो, do the positioning and go. But with him, what you get to learn, even after working with other choreographers, not possible.
Change the tone, boss. बहुत गुड़ी गुड़ी हो रहा है. आप थोड़ा भी बताएं. Sandy, your turn.
So दिल्ली में हम लोग शूटिंग कर रहे थे, तो वहाँ पे ऐसा सिचुएशन हुआ कि मुझे पहले तो साउंड वाले को देखना पड़ा कि साउंड वाला बहुत फक्ड अप कर रहा था. तो बहुत ज़्यादा प्रेशर हो रहा था उसको कि उसको साउंड बजाने नहीं आ रहा था, कभी वो कुछ अलग प्रॉब्लम में फंस जाता था. तो सर को वैसे भी गाना ख़त्म करना था,
इलेक्ट्रिसिटी का प्रॉब्लम था, कनेक्शन का
जी. तो वो टाइम पे उन्होंने बोला कि अरे वायर निकल गया. तो मैं सर को बता नहीं सकता, बोल नहीं सकता कि वायर निकल गया तो उसको यूज़ हो जाएगा. तो मैंने वो वायर लेके मैंने उनके पास दे दिया, साउंड वाले के पास. और वो बहुत डरा हुआ था कि मतलब कि सर अगर आपको इतनी गाली दे रहे, सर आपको इतना बोल रहे, प्रेशर डाल रहे, तो मेरा क्या होगा. तो मैंने उनको बोला टेंशन मत ले, आराम से रिलैक्स रहे, तू साउंड प्रॉपर बजाएगा तो मुझे भी गाली नहीं पड़ेगी. तो उन्होंने बोला ठीक है. तो मैंने उनको बोला ये वायर लेके देख ले कहाँ कनेक्शन देगा. बोलता कनेक्शन है ही नहीं, मैं क्या करूँ. मैं बोला लेकिन ये वायर है ना, इसके अंदर डाल दे. मुझे करंट लग जाएगा. नंगी तार. तो सर ने वहां से चिल्लाया, सैंडी क्या कर रहा है, साउंड चाहिए मुझे. बोला सर रेडी है. तो उसके हाथ में वायर था. तो मुझे बोला मैं नहीं डालूंगा, डालना पड़ेगा. पागल है, साउंड बोलना है, मतलब साउंड चाहिए तो चाहिए, कैमरा सब रोल हो जाएगा. अच्छा ठीक है. साउंड डाला उन्होंने. जैसे ही पूरा उसके हाथ पे प्रॉपर करंट लगा है, बाकायदा करंट लगा है. सर ने कट नहीं बोला तो उसने भी मतलब वायर निकाला ही नहीं. और फिर प्रॉपर साउंड बजा, सब कट हुआ. समय वाला भी कट हो गया. बोला अरे क्या कट, मेरे को तो करंट लग गया. वो किस्सा मैं कभी लाइफ में
I was like a kid and I never wanted to be an assistant. Yeah, so I'm still like a kid. So I never wanted to be an assistant choreographer, but I met him and he said, yeah, okay, I'll teach you. You see how it works. Okay, fine. So I was this newbie. We were doing some shooting in Gujarat and he had a team of 4 assistants. And he and there was one other assistant. They kept telling me, "तू सर के साथ रह." And they're like, हम लोग इधर सब संभालेंगे, तू सर के साथ रह. ठीक है, good. I need to learn and I don't know anything about it. And I'm okay, fine. And I'm just being with him. अच्छा क्या चल रहा है? I'm just checking the monitor. If they're telling me something, I'm understanding. Later on, मतलब ऐसे दिन गुजरा. Then I got to know कि सर क्या है on set. And then last में ऐसे अच्छा मतलब आप तुम लोग चाहते थे गाली मैं खाऊं. इसके लिए तू सर के साथ हम लोग. He used to feel that I'm a kid, I'm like a daughter. He was about to scream or give some nice good word and
In your face.
and he used to watch me and then अच्छा बेटा क्या हो रहा है?
This is the reason they told you sir के साथ.
Okay, I was the scapegoat in that. Even that sound का किस्सा, I was there on that shoot.
Oh wow.
So that thing was happening और हम सब ऐसे कि अब क्या करें? Because we can't handle sound. The sound guy has to handle sound because we have other things to manage. And that was first time that he shouted on me. बेटा काम भूल गई है क्या तू? And I was like, what do I do now? After half an hour, I gave him water. उसके बाद I told sir, actually थोड़ा problem है. ओके बेटा पहले बोलना चाहिए.
आई एम ऑलवेज सो स्कैर्ड कि यार मैं डांट देने से वो कभी कभी हो जाता है ना, मेरे को करना ही नहीं है. एंड दीज आर सम सीरियसली टैलेंटेड सेट ऑफ पीपल, दोस आर ब्रिलियंट डांसर्स. सो आई डोंट वांट कि मेरे चिल्लाने से इनको ऐसा लग जाए, क्योंकि माय बॉस एंड विद ऑल ड्यू रिस्पेक्ट, इफ आई मेड अ मिस्टेक एंड एवरी मैन यूज्ड टू शाउट एट मी, आई यूज्ड टू फील आज मर जाऊंगा मैं.
I remember when I was growing up and in situation which of course very different from choreography, it was journalism, and the way I would see my editors yell at people, I'm like, boss, I can't yell at people like that. You just can't. You can't talk to people like that. You know what I mean? There's a new culture, there's a new generation, and it's a good thing. I mean, it's a very good thing. You can't tell Gen Z कि भैया ये मतलब ऐसे नाचो, right? Have you seen that culture shift in your life?
Yes, I am a part of that culture shift. Because, and I am completely okay with what has happened with me. Or if Sarojji shouted at me, or if my any other choreographers, Jojo Khan, Bhupi ji, Baba Yadav, Pony, all these people, if they've shouted at me, I have completely taken it.
That's another world.
That's another world. Webby ma'am once told me that I curse you to be a choreographer. You will know how tough it is to be one. Like, you know, making silly mistakes and all that, and we feel कि हाँ ना क्या एक बार 100 गाने में मैंने एक बार काउंट रॉन्ग दिया यार क्या हो गया. We feel like that. But that is not the case. वो एक बार ही शायद प्रोड्यूसर पीछे बैठा था जब तुमने मेरे रेपुटेशन बिगाड़ दी, जो मैंने इतना काम किया. My body of work is spoiled because once you count wrong, and that's the time my producer was sitting behind me. That's the guy who's paying us, doing our job. I used to literally not like any of my bosses. When I was working with them, I was like, how they treat us, and you know, I will never treat my team like this, and you know, I will be that's how it turned out. Yeah. When I became a choreographer and when I sat on the monitor, when I started shooting, and that was the day I realized how they felt. And although they must have felt that I don't like the way.
But there's a difference.
Sure.
Here we do it with love. Yeah. Because he has expectations and we don't want him to feel that his team is not up to the par.
Right.
That is the feeling. We are not doing it because we are scared or ये हमको डांट देगा या हमको 10 लोगों के सामने हम लोगों को कुछ बोल देगा. That feeling is not there. There's a difference.
Yeah.
The doing things because you are scared and doing things out of love is different.
I think they are mature. It is their good thing. What I should have thought like them for my bosses. I was not thinking like them. I was immature. So if my boss used to shout at me, I have to feel bad. I have just done one mistake. Now that I know, you know, after doing a few songs, when I met Webby ma'am, I was like, thank you ma'am, thank you for whatever you've done to me. Whatever.
Right.
I am whatever I am because whatever Webby ma'am did with me or Sarojji ma'am did with me, and they were right. And did with me मतलब क्या ऐसा क्या उन्होंने मेरे कुछ ये नहीं कर दिया. मैंने गलती की तो सुना है उन्होंने मुझसे प्यार से भी बात किया है, खाना भी खिलाया है. But they have made it a point. You've made a mistake. You should know. I don't want to sound wrong. How will a choreographer tell you that you made a mistake nowadays? They don't know what they are doing. They are तो copying Beyonce का video ना. तो वहाँ से आप कैसे किसको सिखाओगे?
Right.
सरोज जी को पता है वो क्या कर रही है, बेबी मैम को पता था. I am in deep love with my mentors and I love them. I will always love them, respect them. Whatever I know, if I feel too confident, if I call myself Superman, if I call my team Super Team and whatever these people and me are is all because of my mentors, especially because of Saroj Khan and Webby ma'am.
So when I look at, say, your mentors like a Saroj Khan or a Webby merchant, and these are people who, of course, been around for many years, and they define what we call Bollywood, which I think is a bigger dance form than it is even a film genre. You know, you can have a Bollywood dance class across the world. I don't know how many people have even watched Bollywood films, but may have danced to a Bollywood song, right? That's how amazing it is, right? Where do you think that form comes from, Sagar? Like, what is it?
Bollywood is not a form.
Right.
But because of all these people, all the choreographers, even not Sarojji, even before Sarojji, whoever had come, you know, so what they did with their actors and all that, and you know, how they dance, if somebody is a non-dancer, how to make them dance, how to make you dance in a character, and so वो ingredients में कुछ बन गया. अभी गणेश मास्टर जी जो करते हैं या दूसरे जो करते हैं, there is no form to it. That is feel. Right. That is the soul of the song.
There's no form, there's a feel.
Yes, it's the feel of the song. He will listen to the song. I still, when I go to Ganesh Masterji's rehearsal, he must have done, I don't know how many thousand songs. And he's still that keen, yaar, come see my rehearsal. And he'll stand in between, he'll perform. Bollywood dancing, it is not a form. It is created by all these legendary choreographers come together to form a film. According to the script, this, that, lot of things have gone into it, and this Bollywood form has come out. Rahi baat, artists going training in Kathak or in ballet or in any other form. Yeah. That was the thing that they also go and train in action, and they go and work out. They do all the different kind of things. It is just that कि nowadays actors know, okay, I am weak in dancing, so I should learn. पहले बहुत ये होता था कि कथक सीख लो, भरतनाट्यम सीख लो, क्योंकि बहुत सारे वही इंडियन फॉर्म्स थे, उस किस्म का ही डांसिंग होता था, तो लोग वो सीखते थे. अभी लोग वेस्टर्न भी सीखते हैं, but there is one thing which I feel, I might be completely wrong. A Western dancer can never become a very good Indian dancer like a Kathak or a Bharatnatyam dancer. But somebody who's learned a Kathak or a Bharatnatyam or any Indian form of dancing can always be a brilliant hip hop dancer. Because you know, the kind of training that you get in Kathak and Bharatnatyam and what you learn from there, the beat knowledge that you get, you know, the way you get trained as a dancer, there are rules over there. There are things that you have to follow. It is authenticized.
What do you think they teach at a Bollywood dance class, for instance? Like, let's say if you were to start one, because you are a choreographer, you will start one in any neighborhood. What would you teach? Like, what would you have elements of various forms?
Now I see a lot of dance classes posters saying Bollywood jazz, funk, hip hop, training, everything, which the trainer himself doesn't know anything. He is not officially trained himself to do all that. वो अभी सब लिख दिया है बेचने के लिए. Shamak Davar and Terence have aced. They are doing it. They are running it from years authentically. If somebody asks me क्या dance train करना है किसके पास जाऊँ, I always say Shamak के पास या Terence के पास, because that is what I've seen. I don't know them, but I have seen the dancers that come out of their school and they are very well trained and you know whatever they've learned from there. But other than that, I am not a person who will start a dance class. Yeah, if I would start a dance class, I would clearly name it a Bollywood dancers. I will teach you how an actor will dance on a song. That I am good at. Like right now, after the first lockdown, I started online classes of teaching song direction. So where I train whatever you spoke, you know, making a short breakdown, going on the recce, seeing the location, knowing your artist, whether they can dance, not dance, all that together. I have made a syllabus and we have lectures from 10 lectures to 25 lectures, and right now I've got around 20 students internationally and nationally, and I give them an hour lecture one-on-one. It's not like 5 people or 4 people. One-on-one, and I train them how to shoot a song in case if they get something, you know, music videos or something.
So I want to tell you one thing about Sir, like why he's such kind of personality while being on set. The reason behind it is because such an artist hota hai na, a true artist is always based on the calculation of being the word we call a perfectionist. So he is the perfectionist. That's the reason he is like so particular about every single thing. एंड जो भी हम फेस करते हैं, जो भी हम सिचुएशन हैंडल करते हैं, जो भी हम झेलते हैं या बर्दाश्त करते हैं, सॉरी टू से दैट, लाइक बीइंग वेरी ट्रू. सो इट इज लाइक वी लर्न एवरी मोमेंट. सो आई कैलकुलेट एज व्हाई सर ऐसे क्यों बोल रहे हो, the reason behind it.
It's not personal.
It's
It's
not
professional.
personal. It's professional, and we get to learn a lot of things. So which is like which makes you a
He's
better
like
person
a
in future.
choreographer nerd. He's a little uptight.
Right.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
needs everything to happen in a certain
Very
way.
precise, you know. So yeah, a good artist is always been like that. So
I mean, that's an artist, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, he's just doing danda.
exactly.
I think it's time that we switch off the lights and switch on some other lights and play some music and dance, man. Thank you, Sagar Das. Thank you,
so
Team
much.
Sagar. This was an absolutely fantastic afternoon for me.
Thank
It's
you.
absolutely lovely to
Pleasure,
hang on
pleasure was
with,
all
with
mine.
all of you and with you, of course. Sagar, of course, we'll continue. We'll continue with this.
Thank you so much, Mayank.
Yeah.